Welcome to the maiden voyage of Brain Bites Digest, the companion show to Brain Bites, where we grill, peel, and reveal the meaty topics from the main podcast. I'm your host, Larry Campbell, here with our distinguished guest, Dr. Alexandra Quinn, cognitive science researcher from MIT and the genius behind Brain Bites. Welcome aboard, Alex.
Thank you for having me, Larry. I'm thrilled to be here.
Let's kick things off. Your first episode on Brain Bites was a deep dive into personalized learning, and it felt like we were exploring an educational utopia. So here's a twist for you, Alex. If you could tailor your own learning experience, and let's say it was a meal, what would be on the menu?
Hey, Larry. You have a way with words. If I were to equate my ideal learning experience to a meal, I'd say it would be a tapas-style dinner. Lots of small, diverse dishes that I can explore at my own pace. Each one would represent a different field of study or skill, allowing me to savor different flavors of knowledge.
I love that. Tapas-style learning, folks. You heard it here first. Now, shifting gears, you mentioned the role of AI in personalized learning. Let's imagine for a second that AI is a new student in your class. What would be its strengths and weaknesses?
Interesting thought, Larry. If AI were a student, I believe its greatest strength would be its ability to process and analyze data quickly and accurately. It could easily identify patterns and make connections that might take a human student much longer to discern. As for weaknesses, AI would struggle with things like empathy, creativity, and the nuances of human interaction. It's hard to program emotional intelligence and intuition into a machine.
That's a fascinating perspective, Alex. Now, to throw a curveball your way, can you tell us what kind of student you were in school, and how would your younger self have benefited from personalized learning?
Oh, you're really digging into the archives there, Larry. Growing up, I was quite the bookworm, but I also had a great fascination with the natural world. Traditional classroom settings, while providing structure, often felt limiting to my curious nature. Personalized learning would have allowed me to balance my love for reading with my interest in exploring the outdoors, creating a more holistic and satisfying learning experience.
That's a valuable insight, Alex. Now, for our final question today. Let's say you could give a single piece of advice to all educators embarking on the journey of personalized learning. What would it be?
I'd say it's essential to remember that personalized learning is not about reinventing the wheel. It's about listening to your students, understanding their needs, and being flexible enough to adapt your teaching methods accordingly. And most importantly, be patient with yourself. It's a learning process for both the educator and the student.
That's a fascinating perspective, Alex. Here's a question I'm sure our listeners are eager to hear. In your first episode, you mentioned the concept of student agency. Could you give us a little sneak peek into that?
Absolutely, Larry. Student agency is all about learners taking the reins of their own education. It's about encouraging students to identify their strengths and weaknesses and take ownership of their learning process. But to truly dive into the concept and its implications in education, listeners will need to catch the full episode on Apple Podcasts.
You're a master of suspense, Alex. Ha! All right, folks, you heard it here first. The premiere episode of Brain Bites is available exclusively on Apple Podcasts, and the best part? It's absolutely free. So what are you waiting for? Head over to Apple Podcasts and give it a listen. But don't worry. My show, Brain Bites Digest, is always free and available across all major platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. So you'll never miss out on any of our fun and enlightening discussions.
I'm looking forward to the listeners' feedback. The world of cognitive science is so vast and fascinating, and personalized learning is just the tip of the iceberg.
Well said. We can't wait to explore more intriguing topics with you. Remember, folks, hop over to Apple Podcasts for the full Brain Bites experience and keep tuning into Brain Bites Digest for more engaging conversations. Until next time, keep learning and keep questioning.